Welcome to Wickedly Branded podcast. We are talking all about Chapter 8 in the Marketing for Entrepreneurs revised book, the quick guide to sparking your marketing. I'm Beverly Cornell, and I'm the founder of Wickedly Branded. I want to talk all about social media today. And before you roll your eye or reach for your second or third cup of coffee, I want you to stay with me, because this conversation is less about the algorithms and the tools and tactics, and it's far more about your energy, the energy we put into your social media. I want you to imagine something. You invite someone into your home and the door opens, they step inside, and what do they feel first? Is it warmth? Is it tension? Is it hospitality? Is it loud? Is it noisy? Social media works the exact same way. It functions like a living room. So it's not a stage where you're like speaking at a bunch of people. It's like your living room where you're having a chat. And when it feels like a stage, something inside of you and inside of your messaging and inside of what the target audience feels tightens. It feels like a performance. You posture, you monitor yourself mid-sentence. The words sound slightly different than they do when you're talking to a client across the table. I see this shift all the time inside of Wickedly Branded. A founder will speak freely in a strategy session. Her voice is confident. The sentences land really naturally. She tells a story, and I can hear the conviction inside of it deeply. Then she opens Instagram. The caption reads like someone trying to impress a conference room. Same person, entirely different energy. The body keeps score of that shift. Your body does. Your nervous system knows when you are performing, and your audience can also feel it. They know, can tell. And that's what's happened. That's what's happening beneath that experience. When the brain perceives social evaluation, somebody watching them, it heightens self-monitoring. You become aware of how you're being seen instead of what you're actually saying. And that subtle pivot pulls you out of connection and into this observation mode. Connection is what converts. Observation actually drains that. It becomes very performative and not real. So when we talk about social media sparking joy in clients, what we're actually really talking about is reclaiming your living room. Because the living room is relational, just like you. You started this business relationally to help solve people's problems. It has rhythm. It has the conversations, probably really deep conversations, because you're helping people solve problems that are extremely personal to them. It has a deep sense of familiarity because of how personal it is. Think about how you actually build trust with someone in real life, out in the real world. It really begins with some kind of polished presentation that you give. It grows through small moments repeated over time. Shared stories, shared humor, shared perspective, being vulnerable. That's what connects. So social media gives you that same opportunity. When you treat it like a room you host rather than a spotlight that you stand under. So let me give you an example. We worked with a doggy daycare franchise whose social media feed looked like a collage of cute photos with captions that could belong to any business in their industry. The images were adorable, but the tone felt interchangeable to any business. It didn't really feel like them. It's natural. It's absolutely 100% naturally you. So showing up begins to feel like a return to your own living room, that comfortable space, rather than stepping onto a stage every single day. I want to offer you something practical. The joyful content triangle from the book still applies, and I want to expand it here conversationally. Every week, your living room needs 3 types of moments: a story, a value moment, and an invitation. Story builds the recognition that you need, the compounding factor. Value builds your credibility, that you are somebody they want to work with. And then invitation builds the movement, the action you want them to take. You rotate through them gently, like hosting different conversations across the week. Or in the living room. Let's say you're in the kitchen making dinner, and then you go into the living room. Like you're having different conversations in your home with people. So on Monday, I want you to share a moment that happened with a client that reflects your core values. Call it out, talk about it, and why it's important. On Wednesday, I want you to teach something simple that reveals how you think. So your lived experience, why it matters to you. And then on Friday, I want you to invite someone to take a step closer, a DM, a message, download something, maybe even purchase something, if it makes sense. That rhythm, that process, every 3 posts, for the most part, can create such grounded steadiness for you in your social media. Your audience will begin to anticipate what's going to happen in the room. They know what it feels like to spend time there now because they can count on the consistency and repetition you're going to offer. And here's something I've noticed after working with over hundreds of consultants and coaches and creatives in my time of 3 decades, I guess, and several decades that happens. But what I see is people stay where they feel emotionally regulated, where they feel calm, where they feel connected. People stay there because obviously it feels good. If your content carries just urgency and do this and do that and comparison and constant escalation, their nervous system moves toward scanning and not resonating. So when your content carries more of a steadiness of flow, they'll settle in to your content and stick around and do what you ask them to do. So settled people come back. Returning people eventually inquire. If social media has felt hard, has felt like a lot for you, because it is a lot. It's a lot to be on social media. Consider what energy you have been bringing into the room. Consider whether you've been trying to impress instead of connect. Consider whether you've been measuring worth through metrics instead of conversation. And then I want you to soften your posture. Write one post this week as if you are speaking to the woman who emailed you last week. Use her language. Use your real tone. Describe one moment you care about and close with one simple invitation. That's all I need to do. It's that simple. That's enough for this. Inside Marketing for Entrepreneurs in Chapter 8, we walk through this rhythm in detail. And in the companion workbook that we have, it helps you map out your personal social cadence so it fits your energy and your life. So if you want the prompts and structure to support what we're talking about here, you can grab the revised book and workbook on Amazon or download the PDF through the link in the show notes. When you do, you'll also receive weekly marketing insights from me and tips about all of these things and also podcast episode updates. So we can keep building this room together. Next week, we're going to move into Chapter 9 and talk about building visibility in a way that protects your energy over the long term, because momentum thrives when your capacity and your marketing can move together. But until then, I want you to choose what fits your life and stay with it long enough to see what grows. Wow, what an incredible conversation we just had. I hope that this episode lit a little bit of a fire under you to finally bring your brand to life in a way that feels true to you. Remember, clarity is the spark, but activation is that fire and flame that keeps your message and your visuals and your strategy aligned, and the confidence that follows. So does that lovely thing called momentum that you've been waiting for. So if today's episode, if you loved it, make sure you are subscribed to the Wickedly Branded Marketing Podcast so you never miss an insight or a conversation. Until next time, dare to be wickedly branded.